I think I've been assaulted.
Yes. I love that song.
That's a great song. Eric Hughes Band, Midtown Blues from the Meet Me in Memphis record. Yeah. He's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong at all. If you ever spend any time in Midtown, he's just laid it all right out there for you.
And he sounds like he's describing most of Austin, too. It's kind of the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although not anymore. Jeez. Austin's changed.
Austin has changed quite a bit. It's such a different...
it's not as laid back as it used to be.
No, it's gotten to be sort of Nashvilleian.
Yeah, it really has.
In a way.
Yeah. That's why I didn't go there. Cost of living there is outrageous.
Oh, God. Nashville. I mean, shit, it's high there.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting high here, too, you know.
It is.
Not as bad, but...
No, right.
There's a lot here going for the city, but we got to reel it in a little bit.
Yeah, really.
Let's start with the roads, shall we?
Well, they're going to.
Well, allegedly Poplar. So.
You know, I came down Poplar on the middle lane.
Yes.
It's like driving on a cloud.
Yeah.
Compared to the middle, not the middle lane, but the left lane closest to the divided. Yeah. The middle and the far right lane are just, it's like driving through the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
I've never driven that lane all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this is pretty smooth ride.
It is pretty smooth, yeah. It
kind of a surprise.
There are parts of it around some of these intersections where the pavement has cracked so much, and it's kind of washboarded.
Yeah.
And it's a bit rough. But there's a lot of it's causing a lot of that, of course. Aside from the weather, usually the winter will tear up these roads here.
Right.
It's all the heavy trucks that are in the city that are just tearing up the pavement. They need to. There was supposed to be an initiative to fix all of this, but I get it. It's expensive, but that's what our taxes are for.
You know,
that's what we pay for.
God, I saw years ago this. Some sort of asphalt type stuff that they can pour, and it's permeable, and water runs through it instead of pooling up on it.
Yeah.
And so it gets down to the dirt.
Yeah. And then it runs off.
It's really clever. It's really cool. They can't use this stuff anywhere where it freezes.
Oh, well, there you go. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
There'd been talk, there was some technology there for a while where they were taking old tires and they were grinding them up into like a dust and mixing that in with...
Right.
To give it some sort of flexibility. But I don't know what happened to all that. I think the process was a little pricey. I love it when people go, well, you know, the Romans... The Romans didn't have 18-wheelers. Okay?
Right.
Those roads are still there because there's no trucks driving on it.
Yeah.
It was the occasional chariot, maybe a wagon.
Right.
That was about it.
Mostly foot traffic.
And horses. And it's a bumpy ride.
And it is a bumpy ride. It's a bumpy walk.
It is a bumpy walk. It certainly is. I don't know. Some of the stuff in ancient Rome that was built is still usable. The aqueducts are still a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some of them are.
Yeah. I mean, even the...
they do maintain them, believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, there's... The one that goes into the Colosseum is not complete. So they couldn't bring water in. But the exit works.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can drain it.
Right, right. The drain still works.
Well, yeah.
Which, when I was there, one of the tour guides was telling us that they had a torrential rainstorm, and it flooded the Colosseum.
Yes.
And they said, well, they used to do this.
Yeah.
And luckily, we still have the aqueduct drain. So we just drained it.
Just opened up the drains.
And I said, did that work? And they went, oh, yeah. Yeah, it worked just fine.
They knew what they were doing.
Right.
If you're interested in history as far as like stuff like that, there's a pretty interesting look at Roman concrete. That was a thing.
Yeah.
And the recipe to it has been lost.
Yeah.
And it's pretty remarkable stuff. We've come pretty close to it, but there was something in it that made it last as long as it did.
Probably volcanic ash
they
or
think
something.
that had something to do with it.
Some volcanic ash or
something about the type of water they used to mix it with was maybe more seawater than it was anything else. So the salts and the minerals that were in the water that activated the lime and all that.
Well, that makes a difference. I mean, it makes a difference in how food is grown.
Sure.
Soil and water.
Sure.
So it makes sense that something they make there, like concrete, might be different.
Probably
soil and stuff.
Yeah, the technological advances that occurred during the empire were pretty good for what it was.
Well, yeah, you look at some of those ancient empires, and the technology they came up with for that time was amazing.
Well, it's the mother of invention is necessity.
Well, right,
and that was a lot of it. Ancient Rome was one of the first major metropolises.
Right.
You had a lot of people in one little area. Still is that way.
Yeah. It is. It's busy.
It is busy. We are in the Lenten season now, and a lot of people are that follow Lent, that give up stuff for the sake of their religion. I mean, it's a noble gesture, I suppose. It's supposed to, I don't know, kind of get your head in the right places about what's more important than anything else.
Yeah.
A lot of people gave up things like beer or alcohol. Not this guy.
Hell no.
Del Hall is his name. He's a Cincinnati folk. He's taken the Christian observance of Lent, where people usually give up eating chocolate or drinking soda for 40 days leading up to Easter. He took it to a whole new level. I like this guy. He's kind of a hero of mine. He's committed to only drinking beer.
Only. Oh, no water, no Cokes.
He's nearing the end of his all-beer diet. Easter is on Sunday, the 17th of April. I've heard of guys that have done this before. All right, this is not anything new.
Nothing but beer.
Nothing but beer. You can get a lot of nutrients from it, and you can survive.
Monks
and you got to drink a lot of water, of course. But he's lost weight over the last month. 25 pounds to be exact.
Really?
Yep. He said it's a way to get back into a healthy mindset, to look at food in a healthy way. He said, I decided I'm going to turn this into a beer diet to show people that you can use beer in a healthy way and not vilify it as this evil alcohol. My man.
Bravo.
Hall has done the all-beer diet during Lent for 4 years now.
What?
His mindset is much different than a college student's would be, as he told reporters that getting drunk all the time isn't the goal.
No.
He also follows some advice from doctors by staying properly hydrated and taking a multivitamin. He said, we're in it for the artistry here, the love and passion of beer. I'm not into it just to get, loaded.
Right. He's probably drinking those as a meal.
Yeah, like a good craft beer.
Yeah.
Now, luckily for this guy, there are countless varieties of beer. So it's not like he's stuck drinking the same old light beer every single day.
Right.
So he's like, hey, what am I going to have today? That kind of thing. He'll say, sweet, I'll drink a milk stout or a pastry stout. If I want something fruity, I'll drink one with raspberries in it. There's so many things that can fill your cravings when you're hungry. Now, he's using his all-beer diet to give back by raising money for the Ken Anderson Alliance. That's a nonprofit that provides opportunities for adults with disabilities. They've raised $5,000 so far this year and is aiming to raise $25,000 in total by the end of the all-beer diet, with a special bar crawl on the 24th of April. He said that I have a 15-year-old daughter who has cerebral palsy. Even though she's a juvenile now, she'll be an adult with a disability. The Ken Anderson Alliance is an amazing foundation that supports adults with disabilities. I feel like someday my daughter will want to use these services that Ken Anderson provides. He was able to raise more than $10,000 in 2020 before the pandemic. during his all-beer diet and lost an astonishing 50 pounds in that process.
Holy crap.
Back in 2019, he told Cincinnati.com, the newspaper there, that he lost 41.5 pounds during the all-beer diet and learned how to stop having an unhealthy relationship with food. He regained about 20 pounds between the fasts in 2019 to 2020. He got hungry.
Well, yeah.
He said, when I thought I was hungry, I wasn't. True hunger isn't that rumbling in your stomach, he said. If I didn't eat for 46 days, missing one meal isn't going to kill me. Good point.
Yeah, very good point.
Very good point.
Well, a lot of times when you have that rumbling in your stomach,
yes,
sometimes you can mistake thirst for hunger.
Absolutely.
And they say if you feel like you might be hungry, drink a glass of water.
Yeah.
Or a couple of glasses of water, and you'll realize you weren't really hungry.
Yeah.
You were thirsty.
Yeah.
Now, if you drink and you're still hungry, you're still feeling that way, then obviously you're hungry.
Then have a beer.
That's
kind of how this works. Yeah.
I like this guy's plan.
Yeah, I do too. I've heard of this before, and
well, at first, now when you said it, I'm thinking he was just drunk for a month.
Maybe.
Which
some of these high gravity beers,
right.
That can do it for you, I suppose. And he's right. With the varieties of craft beer that's out there now, you're not going to get bored.
No.
You really aren't.
But how do you do that and not get drunk?
Well, who's to say he didn't? I mean, there was probably. He drank a lot of water, but it's not like he's sitting there pounding a dozen
beer. Right. A 12-pack, right?
Yeah,
for dinner.
He probably wasn't doing that. And there are some beers out there that are very satisfying.
Well, the darker, thicker beers are usually a little more filling.
Yeah, they have a lot of grain in it. And depending. You got to be real careful when you do this if you're going to attempt this sort of thing. Clearly,
I wouldn't do this without research.
The notion of the beer gut has been proven to be false. Well, this guy just proved it.
He lost weight on nothing but beer,
and he lost weight. The beer gut, the so-called beer gut, comes from people who have the six-pack, for example, a beer.
Yes.
And then after they're but before they go to bed or something, they get hungry. Or they think they're hungry,
right?
And they're going to make a sandwich, or they're going to go hit up, a drive-thru.
Taco Bell, right?
That's where the weight comes on.
Yeah. Because drinking, you don't eat as much as when you're stoned, but you still do get munchies when you're drunk.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's been times where I'm like, man, I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, I'm in the fridge, already checking my options.
Right.
Lowering my standards at the same time.
Oh, Doritos, cottage cheese.
Yeah, what am I doing here, What do they say, in a bag of chips, they say, serving size about a dozen chips. Well, I have that trying to figure out what I'm going to eat.
Yeah, right. Oh, what the hell?
What am I going to do here? Yeah, you have to be kind of sensible about this sort of thing. So, and take a multivitamin if that's the way you're going to go to help make up for what you're not necessarily taking in. And I can see that for that 40 days,
right,
or so, what you're doing is you're resetting your system.
It's kind of like the potato thing.
That what Penn Jillette did. Yeah. That was a bit extreme.
That was,
but I get it. Because he even says now, he goes, I have a completely different relationship with
food. Yeah. And it was interesting because I watched his whole interview about that.
Yeah.
He said after doing the potato thing, that he really kind of had a different outlook. Things tasted different.
Yeah.
He said he started to notice things he didn't like suddenly tasted good to him.
Right.
And he said it was just, what did he do it for, 6 weeks? 6 months? No, I don't.
It was 6 months. I think it was 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Yeah. Still,
that's a long time. That's a month and a half of
nothing but potatoes.
Nothing but potatoes.
And nothing on them.
Yeah. Just potato.
Yeah.
No butter, no salt.
Yeah. Boiled or roasted, I think was the only way he did it. Yeah.
I couldn't do it without black pepper, though.
Well, you
black pepper I could do.
Yeah, maybe.
There's no calories there.
And it wasn't really about calories for him.
It was about...
It was a byproduct of it.
Right.
It was about resetting his brain.
Right.
And how food became a bit of a crutch for him, well, like it does with anybody.
Right. And the thing that I got to keep telling myself and anybody else that I've talked to about this, you've got to get to the point where you look at food as fuel. Not
to a point.
Right, but not every meal has to be an experience.
Yeah.
It's just fuel. And if sometimes you just got to grab an apple and some peanut butter and have that be your lunch,
Yeah.
And maybe a slice of cheese or something to go with it, something like that. It doesn't have to be a 7-course meal.
Oh, no.
And it doesn't have to be...
No, but once you get to a target weight that you're trying to achieve and to maintain that, then you have to have a different relationship with what you're eating.
Yeah.
And with Penn, to him, it was like, I'm going to enjoy everything that I eat now.
Right.
So like he'd say, like if I want a piece of salmon, I want it done a very particular way. I want to be able to taste all this, that, and the other.
Right.
The same with salads or anything like that. But just sitting down to eat for eating's sake, like what did he say? He said, you find yourself, your stomach gets bored.
Yeah. Boredom can cause you to eat for sure.
Of course, depression has a lot to do with there's a mindset that goes on. And and eating nothing but potatoes would probably put you on the brink of depression. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind that he consulted with a nutritionist.
Oh, yeah, no.
And he worked with a doctor all the way through this whole thing. Because his doctor was like, I've never thought of this, but let's give it a go.
Yeah.
And I'll monitor your thing here. And he dropped a fair amount of weight. He looks great.
Yeah.
And took on a slightly better lifestyle as a result of that. And having a healthy relationship with what you eat. The old saying, you are what you eat, is certainly
It's true.
It's very true. And if that were any more true, I'd probably be Mexican.
Yeah. Oh God.
Or Indian.
The other night we were gonna go get something, and I was like, "Hey," I think it was Saturday.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, how about Mexican? Can we go to?" I'm gonna go to Los Camales, of course.
Right.
She goes, "Oh, I had Mexican for lunch yesterday. Can we not?" And
Can we not?
Okay. She said, "How about Indian?" And I'm
okay, we're there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've tried over the years to come to some sort of a balance about that kind of thing, and I find myself a little bit more careful about what I eat. Clean eating is a thing. When you go down that rabbit hole,
that's difficult.
It's almost impossible.
It really is.
But if you can,
unless you grow all of your own food,
but if you can lean into it a little bit heavier, like if you can find a good produce vendor, you're there.
Yeah.
We go to the that Asian market there in Cleveland,
a
lot because they have a delightful produce department, and and I've learned to do things a little more consciously about the things that I'm eating.
Right.
And I'm, admittedly, I'm a little overweight. I need to drop it, and that happens every once in a while. I'll put on some weight, and then I'll shed it. Yeah. It's not like a yo-yo thing, and it takes a long time.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to be things like, well, I think I need to drink more water, and that's a thing as well.
And thanks to Beth, I'm drinking a lot of water.
Well, that's good. You should.
Yeah.
And it's not taking me back away from my evenings of having a few cold ones every once in a while or a cocktail. That doesn't. It's just let's lay off the pizza for a minute.
Yeah. Right.
Let's do that. Let's start there.
Yeah.
And if like around, as I was telling my wife, I said about 9 o'clock I need to stop.
Yeah.
Instead of eating really late.
Yeah.
And if I'm hungry at that point, then have like piece of fruit,
right?
Right. Some juice, something. Give your stomach something to do,
right?
Or have another beer.
That would be my vote.
That's the way to go.